Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's time for Call Me. And yeah, so let's talk about a movie I just watched recently, and that is called El Angel. It wasn't my idea to watch it. You know, my brother was watching in the room, and I just barged in, and I was like, I'll watch it with you. So it's a foreign film made in Argentina, and they only speak Spanish. So if you hated Parasite because they were only speaking Korean and you didn't want to read the subtitles, well, you're not gonna like this movie. What the movie is all about is about a day-to-day life of a teenager called Carlitos, who's the main character, that is a psychopath that joins a gang that robs places like, rich houses or jewelry stores. No, yeah, he's gay. And also, this is taking place in the 70s, and this is based on a true story. So, some of the stuff that the characters do, they actually did it in real life. This is real life people that actually did these stuffs. Maybe it could be modified a little bit just to make the movie more interesting. I don't know. So, the character Carlitos is still in jail. So, the murders he's done is actually true. He's actually one of Argentina's most oldest prisoners. Yeah. So, what did I thought about the movie? I thought the movie was just boring. So, this was my brother's idea, watching this movie. And the reason why he's watching it, because, he saw Hideo Kojima tweet recommending this movie. And he thought, I'll go watch this. And we both watched it. And I was bored as shit. So the film was about a day-to-day life of Carlito. They're just day by day. You see him doing shit, like maybe going to houses, or robbing shit, or just doing gay shit. That's about it. Like this movie doesn't do nothing with their characters. The movie doesn't really challenge Carlitos with his psychopathic nature. They never really question him as a person when he does crazy shit. All the characters do when they see it is, hey, why did you have to do that? All right, let's go. And they just forget about it. They don't question him after that. It's like, he does that shit. Let's move on. It's like, they don't think to themselves like, this guy is just killing people nonchalantly. I think we better keep our eye on him. He might do the same thing to us. The character just gets away with a lot of stuff other than, he's getting arrested or, he got punched by Ramon that one time. But that's about it. It's like seeing a child just be an asshole to every other kid and also, the adults. And, the parents are doing shit. They're not doing nothing to discipline the kid or tell him, what you're doing is wrong. No, they just let it happen. They're like, he does that shit. It's like, no, beat him. Give him a spanking in the ass. And that's what I feel like when I'm watching the movie. It's like we have a character that is unlikable, and the movie's not doing anything to challenge his character. Like, there's no scenes where, this is what you get, and, the character has to face the consequences. No, he just gets away with a lot of stuff. And, if I feel like if this movie wasn't based on a real person, they would have had this character escape from the cops and move somewhere to, I don't know, Europe or America or Mexico. Now, I'm not saying make the character more likable. All I'm saying is let's do something interesting and talk about, his psychopathic tendencies. That's something we could talk about. Since this is based on an actual person that exists right now, that is still alive and is in jail. And so I'm doing a few research on these guys because I'm just looking at the movie like, okay, like, this movie's boring. Like, do they have, like, is the story that they're basing on have enough material? And I'm just looking at the source material, like the things they have done, and I'm like, why aren't they talking about this? Like, the fuck? Like, there are so many interesting stuffs they could do and scenes they could have done, but they just ignore this. It's like, what is the point on having a movie that is based on an actual person that did fucked up shit and just ignore that part? The fucked up things that I've heard these guys did was they were robbing a place that was owned by a young married couple with their baby. They caught them, but since they were armed, they decided, let's just kill them. Yeah, they killed the father. They injured the mother, but then decided to just rape her. And then after that, they killed her. Now, they forgot about the baby, and once they heard it crying, they thought, let's just shoot him. They missed, so the baby lived. Another thing they did is they abduct women and then rape them, and then tell them, you can leave. But while they're running, they get shot in the back and die. Like, that's something they did. And this movie does not talk about that at all. It's like making a movie about Hitler, talking about his younger years, and then completely stopping at the part where he's been told by this Jewish guy, "Oh, you're not a really good artist," and then nothing after that. It's like, what? That's the interesting part about him. Like, what is the point of just talking about his earlier years, like his childhood? There's just nothing really deep about the movie. It's just a director that is making a movie that he wants to make it seem similar to other movies and other styles that directors do. Like, scenes don't hold any weight because the entire movie is just bland, So, like, when you see a scene happen, it's like, all right, it just happens, and it's boring. like I could tell this director was making a scene before writing what this movie was all about. So they made the scene where, Carlitos is dancing in an empty house where he told the cops where he's gonna be. So the scene is, him dancing, and then the cops surround the house and is getting ready to raid the house where he is about to arrest him. But before that happened, it just cuts to black. That's it. That was the ending. Now, I find the scene pretty cringy because in the beginning of the movie, they have him do the same thing, with dancing and playing the same song. In the beginning of the movie, you see him break into a house and then him monologuing, talking about who he is as a character. And, he's just exploring the house that he's breaking into like it's his house. So when they had that scene of him dancing and playing a song, I thought, wow, that was well executed because, they talked about, who he is as a character. They're showing how much of a psychopath he is, just going into houses, acting like it's his own house, and just stealing shit. It was like, oh, wow, what a great opening for a character. So when they did the same thing again, it was like, bro, the entire movie was just bad. So you foreshadowing from the beginning, yeah, no, this just felt forced. It felt like the director had an idea. It's like, yeah, I want the first scene to be the ending scene. But then, in the middle, it's like, oh, shit, well, I still want that scene, so I'm just gonna force it there. And that's what the movie felt like, They force stuff just so they can have a scene. Like how Roberto, out of nowhere, is talking about, oh, I was on TV, oh, I always wanted to be an actor, or, be in a commercial. It's like, but this came out of nowhere. He never talked about this, or at least the movie never really focused on this character. He was always just a side character. And when they want to have a scene where, he's dancing and, singing in this black and white 70s aesthetic, show, that's when we want to talk about this character. Like, even after that scene, he never talked about or referenced that again. What would have been great is maybe after doing that show, he's kind of just rethinking about his decision in life and maybe thinking, you know what, maybe I don't want to be a gangster. After that show, I kind of want to be an actor, or, at least do more of that. Maybe I'll get a manager. With all this money I'm getting, maybe I'll get, a manager that can help me. Like, something like that. But, like, no, that's it. We're just going to talk about this character once in this one, scene, and that's it. We don't care about this character anymore. So the story and writing in this movie is just bad. I thought the actors did good, but it did felt like the actors kind of had nothing to do. Like, they tried their best, but it's like, there's not really much to do with this, What I really love about this movie is, the aesthetics, the colors, and the cinematography. So everything about this movie, visual-wise, it looks good. It's a beautiful movie. But story and, characters, it's just bad. It was just boring. Like, halfway through the movie, we just gave up and, was like, yeah, this is bad. We said, fuck it, let's just roast this movie. Let's talk about how bad this is. Let's talk about, the bad parts or what makes it bad. So it was just, I didn't like the movie, It was just boring. The best parts are just the gay shit that's happening. We just laughed our asses like, what the fuck? He's just showing a fucking testicle. During this movie, I just made my own term of these type of movies. It's like, I call this movie, hipster bait. Like, these are the types of shit that hipsters would love. Hipsters just love, the visuals and don't really give a shit about story because, oh, you can interpret the story how you feel, Oh, this is how I saw the story. It's like, what the fuck? It's like Space Odyssey. Like, I never saw it, but, like, my brother was like, it's kind of boring, but visually it looks nice. So, there's, like, hipster snobs that like that movie because, it visually looked great. And we all know that Hideo Kojima is, a fucking hipster, right? Like, he's a movie snob. He always tweets and talks about what he's watching or what he loves. And they're usually, like, old films. He's a Western boo. So, yeah, I didn't like the movie. and I was really bummed about it because there were just some scenes I actually really love. I like the part where they shot an old man in the close to his arm and chest, and he's just walking through his house, just going to take a shower, and it was like, what the fuck? We're just following him. He doesn't even care that I'm telling him to stop. I like that scene. I like the ones. I like the scene I was talking about. How out of nowhere, we talked about, oh, he's going to do a show. That scene was amazing. Like, I loved everything about that. I loved the music. I loved the 70s vibe it gave me. And it was well shot. That was a great scene. That was the best part about that movie. So, yeah. Another thing I liked, I liked that scene where he called his mom and was like, are you guys alone? And she was like, yeah. And it has a zoomed out camera showing the cops around. Like, I thought that was funny, kind of, that's the type of thing you see in a comedy, but, it wasn't here, and, I kind of enjoyed that scene, but, yeah, that's about it. That's all the positives I can give you. It's aesthetically a beautiful movie. There was a few good scenes, and that was about it. Oh, yeah, and also the intro, the opening was good, too. And, yeah, that's about it, I give the movie a 5.5 out of 10. I only give that half because there was good scenes and it was a good looking film. But overall, it was just boring. There was nothing to this movie. And yeah, that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, follow my Twitch, Twitch, and Twitter. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'll see you later. Bye.